that I think looks like they're going to lean towards that Leona, that strong engage potential, especially with Thresh off the table, a lot higher priority.
Much higher priority on that Leona, that guaranteed engage as such. And see that at least comboed in with it as well. We might see the Viego here for Wei, or maybe even just go with the Jarvan as well. So we've got plenty of options to go with here. So
yeah,
I think through their last little few options for them.
I think you want an AD carry in a jungle in this situation, an AD carry that they can lean towards. Now, because they picked the Aphelios, you may want to take a support here if you just want to guarantee a safe matchup. But if you want to get your hands on something like a Jarvan, like a Viego, it's kind of now or never. And I think that'd make a lot of sense for Wei. So we'll see which direction they end up going with. And it looks like they are just leaning towards taking that Jarvan pick. Bear in mind that if JDG want to go for something like the Jinx, the Thresh isn't available. And so as a result, you would be trapped in that Cataclysm. And for that reason, it looks like they might end up going towards the Ziggs. If you, in the last series, whenever OMG picked Jarvan, they banned Ziggs because they know obviously the satchels can just get you out the Cataclysm. So I kind of like this from JDG to go for that option. That being said, it does mean they're pretty heavy in the AP on the bot side. Something like a Corki or a Victor mid might be a bit too AP heavy to kind of limit them in that regards. But for the next rotation, we'll see the Camille banned away from Bin. Not too many surprises there. I would think, though, maybe a support ban could work towards RNG as well.
Yeah, you want to try and at least punish off one of the two, you know, small options that can make your life a living hell. Maybe something like a Nautilus ban wouldn't be too bad. We know how prolific Ming is on that particular pick, and we can see now RNG working towards the next stage of bans. They're saying, all right, let's get rid of the Jace. They might even try and get rid of the Jinxes, or no, excuse me, the Jinx, the Jax is what I meant to say, and try and just make sure that this top side is in favor of Bin.
And that's the thing, is that it's likely Bin is going to have to blind pick in this situation. So kind of sort of give him a comfortable matchup pretty important. He's seen his pool getting targeted away. So thinking about what could you potentially, what could the Camille and the Gwen potentially be problems for that you want to limit. Something to think about is, like, we're talking AD damage needs to be a thing in the top side. Maybe for JDG, Gangplank has seen, not so much in the LPL, but generally is pretty good on the patch, just because of the fact that your global ultimate with TP not being available has a lot of power, and on top of that offers a lot of AD damage, which your team does need.
You need a fair bit of AD, and you will have to blind pick either your top or your mid. They're going to go with the top, and this time around, that's exactly what you needed to get yourself an AD carry style champion in the Graves in that top side. But it does mean that Bin gets counters, so not quite sure exactly where they're going to go with this one here. I feel like JDG missed a little bit of a trick here, not being able to, like, you know what the Twist of Fate's going, so you know you're going to be into that. So they're kind of giving up their trump card there.
I think when it comes to this stage, it's kind of one of those moments where you're like, okay, we've banned so many top laners. It's less so about counter. It's more so about a lot of the answers have been dealt with, right? So they think it's more important to secure the Graves than it is to know the matchup, because with, you know, 5 top laners banned, they're feeling pretty confident. Looks like it might be the Akshan. This is the first one I've cast in the LPL. I'm not sure if it's the first overall. I think it might be. We haven't seen too much of it. It is strong in the top lane. This essentially serves as an AD carry, scales really well. And obviously that reset mechanic that's on his W for some reason is just insane. But allows you to sort of duel with the Graves from a distance, use the mini wave to block autos. And JDG looks like they might end up just picking up the Corki. A lot of poke off of that. And that's the thing. This is the big thing that we're talking about. With the Graves in the top lane, with the Lisa in the jungle, there's enough AD damage. Now, what's probably going to happen is the bot side of the map are going to buy Merc Treads. But at the end of the day, it's not too big of an issue, because at least when it gets to the late game team fights, you have a decent damage profile.
Yep, it is the first Akshan of the LPL, so get to see how this one works out for everyone. Of course, like you said, you've got the double AD carries now on the side of JDG, so going to be a lot of objective focus, you feel, from both of these sides as we get 2 AD carries, both in RNG and in JDG. Both teams are going to be wanting to try and get on those objectives as quick as possible and burn them down before any kind of real fight breaks out.
Yeah, and I think what's really going to be the thing for me for RNG is how they can unlock Xiaohu to take over the map, right? Because I think
they both just CS and try to look for roams, but it's all about these junglers. It's all about Kanavi and Wei. Where can they make their presence known? Where can they make themselves the most useful? And where can they start the best foot off as they look to try and take their first series win of the LPL? Both these teams sitting at 0 series wins. Both of these teams hungry to get their season back on track.
Yeah, and JDG really starting it quickly when going with a 5-man invade. I love Wei's decision to come up top. You can see the flag in that first brush that just despawned. Knew that there was potential for this opportunity, so he comes up, uses that to check the brush, allows Bin to be safe. I mean, if you manage to take down Akshan early and burn that flash, can potentially be vulnerable. So covering all chances, and it has allowed them to get a ward on the enemy blue buff. So starting early with that information.
Curious looking at the keystones there. We actually have a press the attack there onto Aphelios. So going a little bit more, I suppose, offensive into the Ziggs, making sure that when they get those chakras off, they get those the red and white combination, they're just able to just burn someone down as quick as possible.
Yeah, it's a bit more bursty, and I think it kind of makes sense because the big issue I see in this composition is that you're going to struggle to stack up Conqueror, right? Conqueror is like the standard one you see, and just in general, like a lot of the sort of things that work well into Aphelios are things that outrange him. You know, it's going to be rare that you're hitting Ziggs or you're hitting Corki. And so as a result, having pressed the attack means when you do get the chance to hit them, you can very quickly apply a bunch of burst damage to them. It's definitely not something we see all the time, but it kind of makes sense in this situation.
Satchel charge taken first there by LPC, so not really able to get the full engage off with the Dredge line. Ming, though, on this Nautilus, we mentioned it in Champ Select, very prominent. It's going to be how he's able to unlock himself with the Jhin and the Aphelios, the Aphelios and the Ziggs. It is kind of assumed that they're just going to end up being a farm fest. It's about where these junglers and supports roam too. So if Missing or Ming can get themselves into a situation where they can get a roam off, they might not even need one. Not quite able to land the stun or the extra damage there from Gala. But again, good level 2 here from Ming. See what he's able to do with this Nautilus pick.
Yeah, and something we tend to see from Nautilus and Leona is that you want to make the trade short, right? A short trade with the shield you have, an aftershock. Nautilus is tanky enough to survive the burst in return. But the thing is, this is even more true because Missing has Glacial Augment rather than aftershock. So Ming's going to be very tanky instantaneously, but Missing's going to be tanky for longer. And also the Q of Leona is such a short cooldown that if you stay in a fight, you'll just get poked down. So RNG kind of want to play those bot lane fights short. But a big thing is that as much as, you know, both of these carries are happy scaling, you have to be really cautious. I've seen way too many situations where a good satchel charge from a Ziggs will result in an all-in and a kill. So definitely something to be aware of.
Be aware of it as Kanavi now roaming up towards this top side. There will be a ward spotting him out, so you know it is, but is Bin just a little bit too far forward? Yep, he might have to lose his flash. He's got the swing though, and the minions to defend him from the Sonic Wave. He is a silly champion.
Yeah, what am I saying, man? I'm like, it's too late. Oh yeah,
I forgot. I haven't seen him in a while.
Tarzan's his way out of the lane, real easy. And actually, I love this coming out from Xiaohu and Bin. They know where Kanavi is. They know Kanavi's not going to step into the river. Priority achieved by Xiaohu. They just go and take that second scuttle. Really nicely done. So denying both away from Kanavi. Now, this isn't as much as a concern as it used to be. It used to be if you denied a scuttle, it's like, oh no, the enemy jungler's got such a big advantage. But since they were nerfed, it's like, definitely is worth doing. It's just not as problematic for Kanavi. But he will be a little bit behind Wei, and you can see he is one camp down.
Man, a little bit frustrating more than anything else. Just kind of like, ugh, can't get that now. And you know, a lot of things when it comes to jungle is about timings, it's about getting back and getting certain item spikes as such. So little things like that can just, you know, annoy you to say the least. Not the most impactful thing in the world, but you stack them up enough and they can be, as we can see now on the top side. It is going to be a pretty easy push in here for 369. He already went back, TP'd back in, has now got himself a Vampiric Scepter to sustain in this lane, but nowhere else really to talk about, as both teams are happy enough to keep themselves safe, keep themselves pushing forward, and not really look for any big engages.
Yeah, we're closing on level 6 for the Twisted Fate. That's kind of when things will really come online. And right now, we do see this stacked wave bot that Kanavi is walking in. I love seeing this just because it means that if RNG's bot lane goes for something aggressive, he's there. If the jungler turns up, he's there to counter gang. It allows his team to crash the wave in. LPC is going to be able to reset and pick up items. It's just a smart decision. The thing they have to be concerned about is if RNG opted to move too, but they won't. So it's just, you know, you push it in. It allows you to either move with the bot lane or allows them to get a reset and make sure they're safe and not overextended. Now, Wei will see them first and be able to back off. I don't think they should start the dragon up here. It might be a little bit too risky. So they're just going to span out, establish some vision control.
Yeah, bit risky. You know, got priority in mid lane. Xiaohu had that wave pushed up as Kanavi trying to see if he can take away that pink ward. It's a great little ward there just on the ramp, as we can see. Ooh, nice hook. Dredgeline does land. Missing will use his glacial augment and get himself away. So you can see those short bursts like you were talking about. Ming will take very little damage, whereas Missing will take a little bit more. So you continually get those trades off in the favor of RNG. JDG will find a struggle to really go for those big fights, but RNG do presence enough down the bot side. They have got priority in the bot lane, so they're just going to go ahead straight away and take away this dragon. However, Kanavi and Missing might have something to say about it. Xiaohu is moving over. They have the Destiny Gate. They're popping it straight away. Ooh, a little bit early there from Kanavi on the Sonic Wave. The dragon has been secured. Kanavi gets over the wall with the safeguard. Now, flash in. You get the glacial path going down. They're going to try and get something over to him, but whoa, goes a little bit too far forward, and they've traded out the support for support. Now, the fight can really happen here. You're going to try and auto attack here with Yagao going forward on this Corki, but they know they have the flash advantages. Double kill for Gala as they push LPC right back underneath his turret. Great little move there from RNG. They come out 3 for 1 and the dragon.
Yeah, and I think JDG just made a unforced error there. They actually were ahead, right? I know they lost the dragon, but the nice thing was they burnt TFL for basically nothing. They'd gotten out of there. All they needed to do was be like, okay, TFL is off for a really long time. We now have freedom on the map, right? We're going to have Corki package coming up soon. We're in control. But instead, they look for this fight, and the decision-making was a bit off, right? They prioritized going on to Ming. You go down to this Nautilus, who, even if you kill him, it's like they're not losing that much. And on top of that, he's quite tanky. And we'll see that again here, right? So they go on Ming. Yeah, Ming is not the highest priority target. The instant turn around. Remember, it's not Aftershock Leona. They're absolutely deleted. And Ming survives long enough to get a dredge line off. And then it's these 3-man clustered, all auto-attacking, doing consistent damage. And LPC's throwing his abilities, but you just can't do enough. And it's like, you'd already burned the Destiny, right? The dragon was already gone. What are you fighting for?
The big thing as well, you look at it, the Aphelios got 2 kills, so that's a Berserker Greaves alongside a High Noon Quiver, so you're able to get that little bit of extra mobility. And while that was all happening, you know, 369 and Bin were just playing PvE in the top side. They were 1v1ing, saying, look, we're not a part of this. And it does feel like RNG really do capitalize on a big moment there. As I say that, a comeuppance comes out. 369 flashes. Bin flashes his way as well. Kanavi is here. They will see him just now. Can he get behind the minions before that Sonic Wave comes in? He should be just fine. As I say that, goes in with the safeguard, gets himself the kickback, and it's Sonic Wave. Kanavi picks up a response kill.
Yeah, and that's the big opportunity to punish, right? No Destiny available. Bin goes in, uses his mobility and his flash, way overextended, and Kanavi is able to punish, and now should just be able to move over to this Herald and start it up, right? But he might try and check him on this. He expects it at 369. He predicts that he's reset and finds it correct. And now Kanavi might actually be in trouble. He doesn't have a ward.
No, he doesn't have a ward to go to right now and doesn't have flash either. So Cataclysm, boom, done. See you later, son. And Kanavi just not really respecting the rotations here, not really respecting the fact that, yes, the Jarvan isn't considered a damage dealer in the early game, but he can still do damage. And speaking of which, there's the package going in. Yagao trying to see if he can take out Gala. Gala seeing if he can keep himself alive. Missing, though, is now too far forward in no man's land as Wade picks up that kill. The Rift Herald acting like a 6-man right now for JDG, but they just haven't got the damage. The heroic swing in. LPC and Yagao going back towards their turret. They can go back down onto Shelly and take that objective for them. JDG, I feel like it's not even JDG. Missing is just going on some weird engages.
They're just going a bit too ham, right? They're not assessing the situation, asking, is this a fight worth taking? In that scenario, you're down a member already off the bat. Just isn't the correct play. They decide to commit anyway because they feel confident they have the package, and RNG are more than happy to punish. And this is just a great read from Wei, right? He knows Kanavi will be like, right, we got to kill top. We can go for the Herald. He knows as well that because he used the ward hop, he won't have a ward available. And the big thing is he knows that 369 will want to reset off the back of that. So he ends up going in, finds the successful play, and then Missing goes for this engage. But the thing is, like, they're just not able to follow up on a Gala. Missing goes down, and then they just end up overcommitting to this fight with their down members, and it just gives more and more gold over to RNG. It's like, if they get a Herald, that's fine, you can manage it, but now you're almost you're 2,500 gold behind because you keep overcommitting.
I think it comes back to what we were talking about as well. Wei versus Kanavi, these junglers having full kill participation on both sides. 3-0-3 for Wei, 2-2 and 0 for Kanavi. They are the catalyst of how this team is going to be able to transition. They are the reason these guys are going to be able to get something done in the late game, or even in the early game to try and transition them into the late game. But right now, it's a 2,500 gold lead in favor of RNG. They're really pushing the buttons now of JDG's bot side, and it feels like right now there's not really a lot of answers here for JDG.
No, it feels like you're gonna have to slow the game down at this point, right? Which I don't think is too much of a concern, right? You have a Corki, you have a Ziggs, you have a Graves. They're okay with leaning this later, and I think the range advantage you have is going to serve you well. But if you keep playing into RNG's hands, you're just going to end up further and further behind. And particularly, you know, we talked about that window when the Destiny was unavailable. It's back up, right? Xiaohu now has the Destiny. Any play you go for, you can expect him to turn up. And in this situation, it's a 3v3 right now. It's going to be a 3v4 if Xiaohu turns up, and you're definitely losing that one, even ignoring the goal difference.
Yeah, they now know that Wei is there. They have vision on him. Know exactly where all of their wards are scattered around, but I just feel like RNG getting themselves another free Drake, so it's going to be another Drake in their pockets. It's going to bring them up to 2, so they're 2 away from the soul, and it's going to be a pretty early soul as well. 11, probably 12 minutes by the time this one gets taken down, so we could see a soul point in about 24, 25 minutes, which is just massive if RNG can get it. It's going to be a cloud soul, so not the most impactful in the game, but Kanavi has spent so much time down here. He is 4 or even 5 camps behind right now, 20 CS. He needs to just try and get back out onto the map and go for something.
Yeah, I mean, he's just fallen behind in the jungle match. He's 1,000 gold down, and it just hasn't had the same outcome. I think the thing is as well, right? Lee Sin, since Score Drinker was a thing, doesn't fall off as much as he used to. And we saw, you know, Tarzan earlier split showing what you can still do with a Lee Sin later on. But like, if you're behind, you just don't have nearly as much impact. And like, if a Jarvan is behind, you can just be an ult bot, right? You press R and just try to survive as long as you can. Stopwatch, right? Oh, Yagao in trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble. He has a flash available to him. Is he going to be able to use it? Yes, but is he going to survive? No. Wei picks up another kill. 4-0-3 on this Jarvan. And yes, they burned 2 flashes, but now they have priority over mid. They have priority over this top side of the jungle. And Kanavi, who we're already talking about, is already so far behind. It's going to get put even further.
Yeah, I mean, RNG doing a really good job to establish bigger and bigger leads for Wei. And with Corki unavailable, you can now go for this play topside, no recourse.
No recourse, no way of responding, and that's going to be an easy pickup for Bin. Nicely done there. They know exactly how to play around this Twisted Fate. They know what they can do with it, and Xiaohu's just proving that he is just as good on this pick as Cryan was.
Yeah, I mean, they're just playing it expertly. You know that, like, Wei and Xiaohu very much understand how to work with this champ effectively, but they're just performing so well. They're not given really much room at all, and this is kind of reminiscent of that EDG JDG game we saw in that game 1, where EDG was just miles ahead. We're seeing a similar sort of thing here. Now, there is potential for JDG to bring this one back, right? We have long range advantage on these carries. We have the Ziggs and the Corki scale very well, but it is starting to feel a bit concerning. And as much as Cloud Soul isn't necessarily the most impactful, when you're trying to get in range of the enemy team because they outrange you, then Cloud Soul is actually really nice, right? That extra movement speed, you can pop the Destiny, it can allow you to gap close. Just the flat movement speed you get from it as well, that's permanent, makes a big difference. So definitely if RNG can secure that one early, can help them out a fair bit. For now, we do see the package, and I'm not a fan of this, right? This is something I'm actually quite critical of a lot, is when your package is not synced with dragons, because it's not going to be up that 3rd dragon. So RNG are going to be able to take that one with a big tool not available in your arsenal.
And I just want to go back to that point about the dragon as well. You know, you're talking about the cloud dragons having that a little extra bit of slow prevention, if you will. Look at the amount of CC that's on JDG. It's basically the kick and then, you know, the Leona. Whereas there's a lot of like soft CCs that can come out. You get the package, you got the smoke screen, the Ziggs minefield. If you can just mitigate that just a little bit more every single time, that just gives you that bit more of an advantage. It can work very situationally for the side of RNG, and for JDG, they need to make sure that that doesn't happen, because a lot of the power that you have with that Ziggs to just stop engages will just become null and void.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm looking at this dragon, right? And we're going to tee it up, okay? In a minute 45, you don't have package. We might see Xiaohu closing in on finishing off his rapid fire cannon. He would have rapid fire cannon, Everfrost, and Stopwatch if he's able to complete it, which is the big TF spike, right? It's a big mid-game spike where you can just lay down those long-range stun cards and follow up the Everfrost CC. I just don't think you win that fight. I think JDG have to give up the 3rd dragon, because I just don't see them coming out ahead on that one, especially when you look at, like, Yagao is so far away from being strong. A lot of them are just dealing with 1 item. So I think this is the point where you start assessing it and saying, look, we're 5,000 gold behind. We need to look for cross-map solutions. We need to be a bit more creative. We can't just approach this head on, because it is going to be very difficult.
Wait to see now. It is a 5,000 gold lead coming up for RNG. They're going to start up Shelly 2.0 and get that one pretty much there. And like we said, in top side, it's been pretty dead. No one's really needed to do anything apart from that one or two ganks up to the top side. Bin and 369 haven't really had much to do. They are just happy to keep farming up. But now, with the turret down and top sides, you can put Bin up there. He has teleport available for him. He can get the priority there. They've got the Unleashed teleport, so he can go towards now instead. And this is where the game gets a little bit more shaky for JDG. It looks like they're going to try and contest this one. I kind of agree with this. I feel like they're looking a little bit desperately, as the timing said. If they can find Ming, who actually completely sidesteps the solar flare, flashes away, and gets the Mega Inferno Bomb out of Ziggs. That's a lot of big AoE tools no longer available for JDG.
Yeah, okay, if it wasn't clear before, they shouldn't fight this. Now it's like extra clear, right? You just burn to your big ultimates. And actually, look who just came back off a reset. Xiaohu has the rapid fire. This is a humongous spike. Don't fight this, right? Just do not fight this. Give it up. Hopefully find another way to find some resource. In fact, look at 369 in the top lane. He's pushing top. Look for that.
Oh, but never mind. They're going to go straight in onto Corki. The Immortal Shield Bow means nothing. And they guarantee this dragon. They guarantee themselves soul point. And, oh, Lord, this is starting to get a real reminiscent of Game 1 versus EDG for JDG. They just haven't got anything going for them.
Yeah, there's been no momentum, right? Kanavi's been kind of shut out the game, and Xiaohu on this TF has been instrumental in setting up these players across the map. Not quite 100% kill participation.
It's all right.
But he's close. He's close.
We don't speak for a living or anything. Don't worry about it.
I'm too excited. I'm too hyped, right? I'm tripping over my words.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like you're just gonna. It's just the feeling of the new year, the new split. Anything can happen, and it's always great to watch a team just play to their win condition. As I said, at 369. Trying to see if it maybe go for something in this bot side. Needs to be careful though. Gala with the red and white guns would have a plenty of bursts, and now they're looking to see if they can maybe just transition this in the mid lane. But you haven't got Rift Herald. You don't really have much of a push here with the Ziggs. This is just a little bit of chip damage, and that's about it.
But you'll take it, right? Anything, it sounds stupid, but like a couple of waves, some damage on a tower, when you're this far behind, anything is like a win condition, right? Anything's a consolation prize. And this is really nice. Bin coming up invisibly. Yagao low on mana, so it doesn't, you know, Valkyrie is 100 mana. It's expensive, right? If you're that low, you just don't, you're not able to buy it. And once the stun card connects, Everfrost follows up. This is why this combo is such a huge spike. The damage from the Twisted Fate himself isn't insane, but it's the fact that you have that long range stun card, you walk up, you land the Everfrost, it's like guaranteed CC. And critically in this game, there's no cleanse on anyone across the board. There's no QSS yet. There is Merc Treads are missing, but no one else has them. So really easy to layer that CC. And that's why this composition works so well, right? When the only AP threat is this Twisted Fate and you have 3 AD champions, you're in such a tough spot because Kanavi goes Ninja Tabby because he doesn't want to die. That just means you're getting an extremely long stun card, and I'm sure he probably has Legend Tenacity this game, but other members of his team aren't quite so lucky.
Windsor's Rage Blade, as mentioned, is picked up by Bin. You've got so much more just burst damage now available to you. Double press the attack with the Gala as well, taking that particular Keystone Mastery. They're seeing a little bit of pressure now. Baron is up in about a minute. They want to try and use this Rift Herald before it spawns out. As they go away, they flash away. They get the Mega Inferno Bomb alongside the package. There we go. Ming is dead. You do not have that big engaged tool. Gold card lands. But LPC is pretty damn safe. They know they have the extra bit of sustain and fighting power on the back end of this fight. JDG get a pick, and like you say, you take what you can get.
But I think it's still that big question of like, you just use the package, right? And you got what? A kill? Okay, maybe they can get this tower. It's a bit more meaningful then, but there's soul in 2 minutes 20. And they don't even get a tower, right? You just burn, like we saw in the previous series, like every single dragon package was available. The only time that changed is when Baron became a talking point. Then they would sometimes use it for Baron instead, right? But there's nothing on the cards right now. There's nothing to play for. They just got a solitary kill and they burned the package, and I'm not sure what the plan is, right? Because we have 2 minutes until that Cloud Soul. The Herald's now being thrown down. This mid tower, I think it's probably going to go down if they get a couple of autos in, but they might have to be a bit careful. So it does survive for now. But it's a minute 45 on that Cloud Soul. You don't have a package. You're miles behind in gold. You know, there are big spikes for the enemy team. I've said you have to give up the third one, but if you give up the fourth one, it's just such a massive advantage for RNG.
And how much can you give up before this game just runs away with it right now? Of course,
You know,
the Rift Hell did. Yeah.
We give up the Nexus. And
Yeah. We go next. Game didn't happen. But again, like, you know, we saw the Rift Hell going down. Of course, that was just timing out. That's why RNG hard forced it. They said, look, maybe we can go off of back timers. Didn't really work out for them. They get a sizable chunk. But you now have a Bloodthirster on for Aphelios. I actually really like this second item here from the side of Gala. It's just extra survivability. It's extra ways of kind of sustaining from the poke that you'll get from the Ziggs and the Corki, and it means that he can tank a rocket or a bomb and just come back out of it and say, okay, I'm fine now. I got what I got. You know, I got back off it because I hit off the jungle camps. So we'll see what they're able to make out of it as he now gets himself a red buff and goes back in towards that mid lane. But 50 seconds until that dragon spawns. Where do you want to see these two teams attack? Where do you want to see these two teams look for their advantages around this team fight?
Well, I think RNG already have some decent vision in the area, so just maintain control of that. And honestly, they're so strong, they just need to wait until JDG push in a little bit and someone is exposed nicely. Now, if someone steps too far, someone's out of position, you land a stone card, you follow up, and it's easy as that, right? You have the destiny to get in position for it. For JDG, I really don't know. It's hard to say when they're this far behind, they don't have the package, but picking someone off before the rest of the team there is obviously ideal, but I don't think you have that opportunity anymore. There's 4 members there. Xiaohu's in position to follow up quickly. It's starting already.
Here we go. Cataclysm onto 3 people. They're going to try and see if LPC can just do the damage. You can see already that Wei used his ultimate, but a flash aggressive from Gala. 2 kills for him in this fight as the rest of RNG just keep pushing forward. They want this soul. They want this fight. More importantly, they want this game.
Yeah, with no jungler, the chance to steal in this are microscopic. Yeah, not able to get it. LPC's fishing for some poke, but not really gonna be able to do much more than that. Cloud Soul in pocket for RNG, obviously gonna help them get, like, move more quickly. And that is such a massive asset, especially Xiaohu can proc it with his ultimate, chase them down with the stun card. Really powerful tool for him. So it's just more and more going in favor of RNG. And I think JDG, they tried what they could. They got some big AoE damage there, but they're so far away from being ready to fight, right? They're not spiking. There's going to be a point where Corki would outscale Twisted Fate, but he's so much more useful right now. And Corki really looking at 3-4 items before he's at that super relevant point.
Well, 369 trying to see if he can catch Bin shopping, but Bin fancies this. Bin says, I want to fight this. I think I can take you on. Does not have his own Mortal Shield bow, will flash away. That was the big difference in that fight, but you'll get a flash, so good work there from 369. But again, you're nearly 10,000 gold behind. This game is becoming almost impossible for you to come back into.
Yeah, it's becoming difficult, and I think there is the window, and this is not going to sound promising, is you steal a Baron, right? If you steal a Baron, it stalls the game out for a bit, and then you hope that you can try and fight off that Elder Dragon. But we'll see the replay. So, you know, they throw the ult down, but Gala has cleanse, and then they have this Cataclysm that allows them to fire damage off. The Infernum ult does so much as well. Look at the bounce. It just, I think it was just Byrne that ended up killing them for the red buff, at the end.
Red buff.
So it wasn't even an ideal fight for RNG, honestly, because it did mean that backline was safe. It did mean they got big AoE, but it felt like, you know, it was a little bit like the backline couldn't connect as easily and Gala had to flash over, but it didn't matter. You're that far ahead. It's not really about getting the perfect engage. It's just about finding unengaged.
It's about drive. It's about power. As we come back into this mid lane turret, they're going to try and see if they can take it down. Sorry, I just had to tell you, the objective bounty just go over to JDG as they do finally take themselves a turret in this game. And you have a Ziggs on your team, and you're at 25 minutes into this game, and you haven't gotten more than 1 tower. That's a question mark, and now you do have the package available. Honestly, if I'm RNG, I don't think you need to fight for this at all. I think you're just trying to wait this cooldown. But ow, I know you're so triggered by it.
I'm actually so annoyed. At least, okay, the package cooldown's 4 minutes, so I think they'll have it for Elder Dragon. I think they will have it for Elder Dragon, maybe. But it might actually spawn a little bit after. I'm not sure exactly when he picked it up, but my lord, this package usage has been criminally bad. It's simple, right? You see objective, you take package, and then on the next objective, you have package. It's that easy, and it's just like...
It's that easy. Well, speaking of a package, they're not going to really have it for this fight here, because he already had to use it. They will use the gold card there on the 369, who gets himself away with the ult. They will kill off Akshan.
Which is good.
So that is Bin dead. So that's, again, a big win here, and I don't think the rest of RNG can come into this very separated fight. It doesn't work out for them.
Yeah, this is messy, right? They didn't get on the back line. They went on 369. He's able to disengage before the stun card connects. and then they're kind of trapped in that difficult situation. And that's where the AoE damage from the Ziggs, from the Corki, can really start to put some pressure down. So, you know, a bit of a mistake from RNG there. Yes, they're 7k gold ahead. Yes, they have soul, but you can't be that disrespectful.
No, you cannot. I want to see the replay here because watch Kanavi. Kanavi is so quick to just get himself into position to kick back Akshan. They cannot make this fight work, and it really did work out fantastically well for the side of JDG. And this game is not over just yet. Yes, it is a big of a mountain to climb. You got to try and get to where you can, but little windows like that, little wins like that can bring you back into this. There is a pink ward there sitting where JDG 369 is. But let's have a look at the replay here because watch Kanavi's positioning on this.
Yeah, so they end up going for 369 because they want to go for like the isolated target, but look at how much movement he gets to get away. And then we see the ult connects, Kanavi goes in, gets that kick, and just the burst damage is way too much. And it's just not an ideal fight for RNG, and the target selection a little bit off, but it's fine. They're still miles ahead. It's not really put a dent in that, but it just shows the sign of if you do disrespect, especially as this game goes later, and, you know, we see Yagao and LPC and 369 get more items, there is that comeback opportunity.
And I think the big thing now is that either Gala is either on Infinity Edge or incredibly close to Infinity Edge. 1 minute 30 until that Elder Drake spawns. Baron is still there, but you can't really take it that quickly as JDG. Yep, there's the Infinity Edge now. 3 items here for Gala. He is now the 100% carry for this team. Yes, you still have to deal with Akshan and Twisted Fate, but this guy is going to be the one dealing the real damage.
Absolutely. And the one sort of thing to it is, we talked a little bit about this in the draft phase and coming out of that, is the range, right? It's hard for Gala to be in range. We saw in that last fight around Dragon how he flashed in to get in range, to start hitting people. That is the one limiting factor, right? It's hard to be able to reach Corki and Ziggs. So that's an aspect JDG has in their advantage, but the aspect RNG has in their advantage is Cloud Soul, 7,000 gold, and, you know, a lot of items.
Turret
right?
advantage, lane advantage, 3-item Aphelios.
Yeah, so if JDG play this pixel perfect and RNG really mess it up, I can see a window, especially if you start to land consistent damage onto the squishy targets on RNG. But it's hard, and I think what RNG are doing now that's good is they're establishing vision control in the area early. And what I'm worried about is, I was talking about the package timer. Yagao hasn't recalled yet. I'm really hoping he's going to have package for this fight, because if he doesn't, that's it. I'm just ruling it out. I don't think they win it at all. Okay, he's recalling now. This is very late to be grabbing your package.
He has TP though. He has TP.
He does have TP,
he does have TP if he wants to go for it. But let's see if he's actually able to get it. Nope, he's not able to get it. They're going to TP straight away back into the mid lane and try and contest this. You have to fight this, but you burn this down so quickly if you're RNG. You have 2 AD carries here. They use the Mega Inferno Bomb, but it's gone. It's done. You were too late, and now they can really start this fight. The Destiny Gate was used to try and just make sure they could not go anywhere else. One more kill for Gala. He's up to 5 on the day, and that's basically game. They cannot contest around this Baron. They are going to lose both the major buffs, and we're not even at 30 minutes yet.
I don't even know what to say, Sheen. I just don't know how you don't have a package to fight a single dragon, right? The enemy team has Dragon Soul and Elder Dragon, and you still haven't fought a dragon with a package yet. It's crazy to me, okay? But RNG, they're textbook, right? They start the dragon. They had really good deep vision control. It meant JDG weren't even close. The ultimate from LPC was for vision more than anything. And by the time they got there, it was too late. And the thing is, what I love from RNG, this is something I was talking about before the series, is how the stronger teams don't make the mistakes, right? RNG could have gone super aggressive. Xiaohu could have ulted behind the enemy team and just said, we're going to kill them all. But they didn't. They took one pick, and then they went to the Baron. And I love the restraint, right? They are not given any opportunities to give the game over. They know JDG have strong scaling elements. They know objective bounties are a massive thing. They know there's 1,000 gold on Gala, 700 on Wei. I love the restraint because they want to win this game and they want to win this series.
Yeah, it's just getting the 2 big buffs now. They have got the Baron going for about 2 more minutes. Only about a minute left on the Elder, so the Elder was basically just a formality to bring them the Baron, but...
Oh, he's got the package now.
No.
I mean, okay, I guess he can stall the Baron and the Elder push with this, but come on, man. It's
Give us something, man. Give us something. Yagao not having the greatest of games right now. 0, 3, and 2 as well. Got to use the package to just pepper it down.
It's just like the simplest decision making, right? There's so many things Yagao does extremely well, but like all you have to do is pick up a package in time for the objective, and it's just kind of crazy. That's the thing they struggle on. But you know, the package is now gone, and we'll focus on RNG trying to Kanavi get some structures down. Taking that bot tier 2, they should get the mid tier 2 here in just a second. They're spreading out the Baron buffs across multiple lanes, but sticking to 2 so they aren't spread too thin, which I think makes a lot of sense. Bin also very hard to engage onto, given that he's invisible right now and does have his flash available. They'll now push that in. You can see Xiaohu's going to go top and apply some pressure there, and it's just slowly using the minions to chunk out the tower, right? You don't want to overcommit too heavily. Gala maybe steps a bit too close to get... Oh my lord!
No, he did not. No, he did not. He did not overstep whatsoever. They just burn him down. He is fearless on this pick. Gala coming out trumps again. And what do you do? Where do you go? You're literally losing all 3 inhibitors at the same time. Like, it's choice paralysis right now for JDG. Where do you go? What do you do?
You go to game 2. That's where you go. Because right now, it's seeming pretty rough.
All right, boys. All right, boys. We'll see you next draft.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I think you go for desperation engage now or never. You're not likely to win, but you got to try.
You got to do something. Your Nexus turrets are dead. There's a great Moonlight Vigil just to pepper these health bars down. And look, you got cannon minions. You don't even need super minions. There's the kick. What's it going to do for you? Cataclysm comes down, just more of a zoning setup. And this is it. Game 1 goes over to RNG. Fantastically dominant fashion. JDG got to go back to the board and figure out what the hell are they going to do for game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think RNG here showed that it wasn't just crying playing TF. It's the fact that the team knows how to play around it so incredibly well, right?
It was just TF in general.
Well, yeah, I think, but also just the fact that they know so well how to play around it, right? Way works with it so well. I think the timings when they set up waves is so powerful with that. They know how to set up the map so that TF can look for those picks when they're setting up for objectives. This was textbook by RNG. Really good to see, especially since it was a bit rougher when they had that series against FPX. For JDG though, I don't know. I think they were obviously they got shut down, and I have to credit RNG. This was a hard opposition, but like it's when they fail on like the basics, right? That's when it's a bit frustrating to watch because you know, they played against EDG first, now they're against RNG, and RNG look clean there. That's fine, but like I just didn't really see life from them. Even at the end, they just kind of fell over and just said, "Fine, you can take our base." I mean, it's understandable you're that far behind, but like the Corki package syncing with dragons is like basic, right? If you're gonna pick Corki, you want to have those available. We saw in the previous series, it was like clockwork. It was always available, and the big one was the fact that the Elder Dragon, which you have to fight, they didn't have it available. So a lot of question marks for JDG. Fortunately, the saving grace is this is the best of 3, so they have another chance. But yeah, just RNG about firmly in control. And look at the goal difference. Think about how many up and down goal graphs they've seen. This is a breath of fresh air. It is just RNG all the way.
And this is why we're so high on the RNG hype train, because they can pull out games like this where it just felt like JDG never had a moment, never had an opportunity to come back into the game. And look, you got names like 369, Kanavi, you know, missing as well to an extent. Like, these are good players, these are good guys to have on your team. It's just not quite coming together. And again, this is very similar to what we saw against EDG for JDG. They didn't really get ahead, and they just got kind of lost.
Yeah, and I think as well, you know, they weren't able to play through top. You know, Kanavi went top early to try and set up some advantages there. It's hard to gank the Akshan. And then after that, right, they burned the Destiny, but they didn't find an opportunity to capitalize on that. And I think that's the problem. It's like, it's not just the fact that TF can be proactive. It's the fact that whenever his Destiny is available, it shuts down the other team, right? You know that cooldown's up, and you're just like, right, well, we can't do this play because he's going to be there. We can't do this play. He's going to be there. So if they banned it, I wouldn't be too against it. I think one thing as well, they go on red side. So in this next draft, if they go on blue side, then it's kind of on RNG to ban Kate and Renekton. That frees up bans for you to target things more specific, like the Twisted Fate.
We'll have to wait and see what they decide to go for. We are going to send it to a quick break, though. RNG 1-0 up in this series.